Saturday, February 4, 2023. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. Chapter 6 verses 30 to 34. The apostles returned to Jesus, and told him all that they had done and taught. And he said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a lonely place, and rest a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. And they went away in the boat to a lonely place by themselves. Now many saw them going, and knew them, and they ran there on foot from all the towns, and got there ahead of them. As he went ashore he saw a great throng, and he had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise be, O Lord Jesus Christ.
Meditation. What does the image of a shepherd tell us about God's care for us? Shepherding was one of the oldest of callings in Israel, even before farming, since the chosen people had traveled from place to place, living in tents, and driving their flocks from one pasture to another. Looking after sheep was no easy calling. It required great skill and courage. Herds were often quite large, thousands or even 10,000s of sheep. The flock spent a good part of the year in the open country. Watching over them required a great deal of attention and care. Sheep who strayed from the flock had to be sought out and brought back by the shepherd. Since hyenas, jackals, wolves, and even bear were common and fed on sheep, the shepherds often had to do battle with these wild and dangerous beasts. A shepherd literally had to put his life on the line in defending his sheep. Shepherds took turns watching the sheep at night to ward off any attackers. The sheep and their shepherds continually lived together. Their life was so intimately bound together that individual sheep, even when mixed with other flocks, could recognize the voice of their own shepherd and would come immediately when called by name. The Old Testament often spoke of God as shepherd of his people, Israel. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," Psalm 23 verse 1. "Give ear, O shepherd of Israel, you who lead Joseph like a flock." Psalm 80 verse 1, "We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture," Psalm 100 verse 3. The Messiah is also pictured as the shepherd of God's people. He will feed his flock like a shepherd, he will gather the lambs in his arms, Isaiah 40 verse 11. Jesus told his disciples that he was the good shepherd who was willing to lay down his life for his sheep, Matthew 18 verse 12, Luke 15 verse 4, John 10. When he saw the multitude of people in need of protection and care, he was moved to respond with compassionate concern. His love was a personal love for each and every person who came to him in need. Peter the Apostle called Jesus the shepherd and guardian of our souls, 1 Peter 2 verse 25. Do you know the peace and security of a life freely submitted to Jesus, the Good Shepherd? In the person of the Lord Jesus we see the unceasing vigilance and patience of God's love. In our battle against sin and evil, Jesus is ever ready to give us help, strength, and refuge. Do you trust in his grace and help at all times?